evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Wednesday, May 11, 2022. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. 280 acres of rice destroyed by recent flood. More under threat as rainy season persists. Regulations for local real estate industry long overdue, says AG. Petition submitted to President for removal of Guyana Chronicle editor-in-chief. LGBTQ advocate heightens call for updated laws as 2022 Pride Festival launches, and $20 million modern recreational facility for Grove Diamond. Now for the news in detail. The beginning of the rainy season has spared no rat, causing sections of the quarantine to become heavily inundated. Among those areas are farmlands. Already over 200 acres of rice have been destroyed and more lands are under threat as the rainy season persists. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael reports.
280 acres of rice have been damaged at the 5274 Youth Farmers Co-op Society. The co-op is located 14 miles inland from the central quarantine coast, where 30 farmers have pooled their resources and invested some $148 million to develop 3,000 acres of rice land. Because of a shortage of land in the frontland area on the quarantine coast, those farmers made the investment in the backlands. Ryan Hardin, called Son, has 550 acres on the cultivation. He is currently harvesting, but 140 acres are underwater. The water has been pouring into the cultivation area from the Kanchi River.
Yes, look, rice for long water, Kanchi quick water, flood this place, 140 acres. Wrap out the left, go back and out the inside water. Look. Cool.
Pemainkan pot silan.
Pemainkan sorry, pemain
The rice get excess amount of water, common can't even go in the land. The rice falling in the water and start running out. Well, the dam access is very bad too. Right now, 3-4 tractor got to pull one tractor and still now reach out. Then tractor going morning till 12 o'clock at night. I will come out.
Hardin is the hardest hit of the farmers who have lost rice. He told the evening news that some fields he is currently harvesting, but production is low because of the water. Combines cannot get to all of the rice. Currently he is getting about 20 bags per acre and has difficulty getting his paddy out of the field. According to some farmers, because of the current state of the access dams, they require at least 2 tractors to pull a grain cart out.
One grain cart, I bring like you can't overfull an hour, I bring like 60 bag, 50 bag, 60 bag. One grain cart.
What, about 2 acres or so?
No, 3 acres. Because all over cut there, when I get the amount of rice, because the rice, you know, land and thing, and come in and get to pick up everything.
Most farmers try to harvest their crop during the month of April, and some even as early as the month of March when there is more sun.
Yes, I will cut this, so I will get the rest. But this time we can't get anything from it. 140 acres within me and my son I lose.
Is this
from 550 acres.
Is this because you might have gone into the crop late?
Well, the crop run like that. It's not really late. The time I was like 15 to 20th December. Then we say so it's not really too late. Or the water come and then the weather pattern, the weather get away holding long all the time and I get working time. When you go into work whole rainfall, you not get to do anything. So come the time take up a little more. The harvesting. If you haven't good about it, don't harvest, you know.
Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
The Guyana government will now be moving to regulate the local real estate industry, something which Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandlal says is long overdue and is necessary now more than ever, given the country's development trajectory. Vanu Manichand has the details.
The need for regulations to govern the real estate industry in Guyana was raised by a large group of real estate agents who met with Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandlal on Tuesday to raise their concerns about the lack of laws in this sector. According to Nandlal, this is long overdue.
The need for regulation to be brought to this industry has assumed even greater importance since we have become an oil and gas producer. Large companies are now here Huge transactions are taking place involving the sale and transfer of lands. You have joint venture arrangements are being entered into to the tune of billions of dollars. And we have an unregulated real estate industry.
Moreover, the Legal Affairs Minister outlined the importance of updating the country's regulatory framework, accountability framework, and transparency network to comply with provisions of the anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism laws, especially now that Guyana is an oil-producing nation.
The real estate industry is an important part of the AML-CFT apparatus, because it is true, real estate can be a very fertile avenue for the laundering of money and the proceeds of crime because of the intense commercial activities taking place. It is important for us to incorporate formally into our legal structure and establish a regulatory framework, the real estate industry, and to regulate its operations so that the FIU and all the monitoring agencies can embrace the real estate sector as part of the AML-CFT structure.
Already, the AG has tabled a condominium bill in the National Assembly to regularize condos in Guyana. That bill will come up for debate and passage at the next sitting, which is set for Tuesday, May 17.
That is another piece of legislation that is preparing the legal landscape of Guyana for the takeoff that we are witnessing. We have to, I keep saying all the time, we have to update our laws, we have to revamp our legal system to ensure that it embraces the modern changes that are taking place, or else the legal system and the law will be left behind and commerce will run ahead. We can't allow that to happen.
Reporting for the Evening News, Fanu Manikchand.
The People's Progressive Party civic government has made its first drawdown from the Natural Resources Fund, with US $200 million being withdrawn in accordance with parliamentary approval being granted as part of the Budget 2022 process. Here are the details from Jarrell O'Brien.
In a statement on Tuesday night, Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh had announced that the first drawdown was made in keeping with the NRF Act 2021. Pursuant to Section 16 of the NRF Act 2021, US $200 million, or Guyana $41.7 billion, has been transferred from the NRF to the Consolidated Fund. According to the ministry, this is to finance national development priorities that were highlighted in the last budget. It has always been known that Budget 2022 would be the first budget to be financed partly by Guyana's oil revenues. This would therefore make it Guyana's first withdrawal from the NRF since the country started collecting oil revenues in early 2020. At the time, parliamentary approval was granted for a total of US $607.6 million to be transferred during the fiscal year 2022. The NRF has already received money for at least 10 oil lifts since ExxonMobil started production in Eliza 1 development, as well as interest earnings. It had been announced by the Bank of Guyana that the fund had a $150 billion closing balance at the end of March 2022. Guyana, with U.S. oil giant ExxonMobil as the operator, began producing oil on December 20, 2019 in the Stabroek Block. The first ever payment of US $54.9 million for an oil lift was received in February 2020. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
As Guyana moves to establish a gas-to-energy initiative, SO Exploration and Production Guyana Limited, commonly referred to as ExxonMobil Guyana, is required to engage stakeholders in an environmental impact assessment before the Environmental Protection Agency can give its stamp of approval to the initiative. A total of 11 public disclosure meetings has been arranged for coastal regions. On Wednesday, 2 were held in Region 6. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael was there and filed this report.
The application for the gas-to-energy project was submitted in June last year by ExxonMobil, and it was then determined by the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, that the environmental impact assessment was required. The gas-to-shore project will see natural gas from offshore Guyana being extracted and transported as liquid gas. The offshore pipelines will extend from the Stabroek Block and come on shore west of the Demerara River. The natural gas plant will be located along the west bank of the Demerara River and is expected to be constructed over a 3-year period, with the pipeline component targeted to be completed by 2024. The project has an estimated cycle of at least 25 years. 195 kilometers of 12-inch pipeline will run from offshore vessels, with most of it being run directly on the seabed. The entire project is expected to impact Guyana in several ways. On Tuesday, public disclosure presentations were held with fisher folk and other interested stakeholders at number 66 Fishermen's Co-op and other stakeholders at Rose Hall Primary School. Through its partner, Environmental Resource Management, ExxonMobil says that there will be moderate impacts from the plant activity, while the rate of risk from unplanned activity is also moderate. The project is also expected to both negatively and positively impact economic conditions in Guyana. According to Todd Hall, the environmental impacts are twofold.
What are the impacts associated with that operation? Well, they might be related to noise, because it's going to make, there will be sound coming from it. But we modeled that sound, and we determined that in only rare instances would there be sound levels that would affect residences that were close enough to the facility to have, a perceived impact over a certain level. We modeled air emissions, which is another thing that many industrial facilities have to deal with in terms of impacts. And as I mentioned, this particular facility is a relatively low emitter as compared to the other industries of its type.
Anna Sunby, who leads the social economic team on the project, explained that a wide range of socio-economic issues were considered and how they might affect persons living close to the project and who might be involved in activities in close proximity to the project area.
Most of the impacts of the project are going to be related to the construction phase, where people who are living close to where the pipeline or the plant's being built may be disturbed by noise and construction activity. There will be a greater degree of impact for a few people, so there are a few households down by the NGL plant and the materials offloading facility, and there will be some people who will need to be relocated.
Similar engagements are planned for residents of Region 3 and 4. On Monday, a similar engagement was held in Region 3. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
A total of 23 employees, including senior editors, reporters, and cameramen, have signed a petition which has been submitted to the President, Dr. Irfan Ali, for the removal of Tejram Mohabir as the editor-in-chief of the state-owned Guyana Chronicle newspaper. In the petition, it is alleged that Mohabir demonstrates poor leadership and he has been blamed for the high turnover rate at the organization. The petition contends that Mohabir has become well known for his lack of support, deception, and nominal concern for the welfare of the staff, most times casting blames on them for egregious errors that he would have made. It has also been alleged that he provides little to no guidance to reporters, and his lack of communication and leadership has led to poor coordination and has resulted in the ineffective functioning of the department. The petition says the removal of Mohabir as editor-in-chief of the newspaper would facilitate the development of the editorial department in a way that would attract and retain staff. It is also alleged that Mahabir, as editor-in-chief, has sought to undermine the abilities of employees by making unjustified and dishonest statements. The document also asserts that there are cases wherein Mahabir has taken full credit for the hard work of other employees, and this can be corroborated in the minutes of a board meeting in which he said he does 99% of the work at the state newspaper. Mahabir, who has been editor-in-chief of the Guyana Chronicle since October 2020, has since committed to stepping down from the position once an investigation finds him culpable. Guyana has recorded 56 new cases of the novel coronavirus, taking the total positives detected to date to 63,684. There are 4 persons in the ICU, 6 in institutional isolation, 195 in home isolation, and 2 in institutional quarantine. A total of 62,251 have recovered, while 1,228 have died as a result of the virus. Coming up, after 1 year on the run, Mazaroni prison escapee found with knife in neck, and local parliamentarians undergo training through Commonwealth Group. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
With the approval of each new oil production project offshore, more jobs and opportunities are created onshore. And not just for those working in the oil and gas sector, more Guyanese are providing support services in transportation, catering, logistics, accommodation and hospitality, among many others. Oil and gas development is fueling Guyana's transformation.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
Enjoy the thrill of internet shopping with Airpost. Simply log on to www.airpost.com. Sign up, shop online, and we'll deliver right into your hands. Airpost has partnered with all the major online stores to give you an unlimited range of shopping options straight from our website. And our 24-hour online service will walk you through any challenges. It's simple, it's fast, and it's fun. You don't need a credit card to shop. Visit any of our offices or call our attendants. We'll help you through the process. Airpost. You shop, we ship, we deliver.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
Yeah, ready? We are so far. Look along, me tell you, buy one generator. Now the picnic online test and blackout come and cut off everything. Sorry, son. Radhika, Abby go tomorrow. Abby go now.
At Sylvie's, we stock products from more than 22 different sectors in mining, construction, food processing, vulcanizing, home improvements, and more.
Are you getting generator?
So this is a 3000 better star generator. This will work for your lights, your fan, your TV, and your fridge.
Well, Abby can buy one for Abby and Abby can buy one for Mommy too.
Yeah, and Mommy can even key start it, because all you have to do is hook up the battery and
visit us today at 31 High in Hatfield Street, where our friendly and knowledgeable team members are willing to assist you. You can also call us on 227-6243 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 and shop via our website at www.sylviesonline.com.
Abby go buy one doll pulling mill,
one plucking machine, one pressure washing machine, one juice dispenser, one engine, one pepper grinding machine, one water pump, a sugar cane juicer, circle saw. We gotta get alright, food warmer. We gotta get. What are you looking at?
The government of Guyana, in collaboration with CHRONICLE, will be hosting its premier Agri-Investment Forum and Expo. Don't miss the opportunity to showcase your products and services, network with local, regional, and international businesses and investors, and gain invaluable knowledge and exposure from pioneers in the agriculture industry. It's the first ever Agri Investment Forum and Expo from the 19th to the 21st of May at the Arthur Chung Convention Center.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's waste management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanups, or construction sites. It's simple. Step 1, just pick up the phone and give us a call. Step 2, we deliver the skip bin size of your choice. Step 3, load the skip with all of your junk. And finally, step 4, we take it all away. It's that simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there's no job that's too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-11.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. A man who escaped from the Mazaruni prison more than a year ago was arrested today after he turned up at the Madhya District Hospital with a knife stuck in his neck. 27-year-old Samuel Gavaya, who was convicted for manslaughter, was identified at the hospital at around 4:30 hours. Gavaya was wounded at about 23:30 hours on Monday last at Mawasi Landing, Konawaruk, after he had a heated argument with an identifiable male over money. As a result, Gavaya was stabbed to his left side neck and the knife has been stuck there. After the incident, the fugitive went to the district hospital in an attempt to seek medical attention. While there, police said he was positively identified by a prison officer as well as by records and tattoos on his left hand. He was later escorted to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where he has been admitted as a patient. He is presently under police guard at the said hospital as investigations are continuing. Gavaya was convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 18 years and 9 months imprisonment for the offense. He had stabbed to death 35-year-old Santi Solomon on November 23, 2015 at Peruni Landing. Solomon of Line Path Skeldon Kuriviton, East Berbice, was working in the interior with Bacchus International Gold Mines when he was killed. The need for Guyana to update its laws regarding same-sex intimacy was once again highlighted as LGBTQ organizations with support from the British High Commission in Guyana today launched this year's Pride Festival. In this Amar Prasad report, it is explained that the Pride Parade and related activities will be action-packed since it will be the first set of activities being hosted after 2 years of pandemic-triggered shutdown.
The Society Against Sexual Orientation Discrimination on Wednesday officially launched this year's local Pride Festival. During the launch, SASA's Managing Director Joel Simpson spoke about the need for the country's laws to be updated to better reflect the rights of the LGBTQ community.
We have heard some rhetoric to support amending the Prevention of Discrimination Act 1997, which deals with the right to work, to include sexual orientation, sex characteristics, gender identity, and gender expression. So at least in the context of labor rights, in the context of the right to work, and in the context of the workplace, there would be some protection for LGBTIQ people who often suffer discrimination with regards to that particular right. But when it comes to criminalization of same-sex intimacy, the current administration has not signaled any particular interest or any indication to repeal that law.
British High Commissioner to Guyana Jane Miller, who was present during the event, explained that Guyana inherited these laws that were put in place many years ago by the British. She pointed out that they have since been repealed in the United Kingdom, as she encouraged local lawmakers to follow suit.
Guyana has inherited laws that were brought in many years ago, British laws. The UK has now repealed that. We now have very progressive laws in the UK that protect the rights of the LGBT community. And there are many countries, including Guyana, that has never changed. The UK has changed. And I'm very proud of the fact that the UK has changed, which is why I'm very happy to be championing the rights of LGBT community. So my view is they were wrong then, they're wrong now. And I will do all I can to be championing changes that protect the rights of the LGBT community.
Meanwhile, the Pride Festival 2022 will feature a wide range of events which will commence Sunday, June 19 with a virtual interfaith forum and will continue with other activities throughout the following weeks until June 16, which will conclude with Pride Parade and Pride Party. According to Simpson, this year's festival will be celebrated under the theme, Our Bodies, Our Lives, Our Rights.
We still have situations where these punitive laws are used for extortion by police and other state actors, especially again in the context now that restrictions have been lifted within the last couple of months and people are coming out again to socialize in person. And we are seeing some of the same forms of human rights violations against our communities that existed prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. And with the return to quote-unquote the new normal, we're seeing that arising again. So that is why we've decided to focus on sexual rights this year, and in particular, in terms of our advocacy agenda, to call for the repeal of sections 351 to 353 of the Criminal Law Offences Act, which criminalizes same-sex intimacy between consenting adult men in private.
For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
The sum of $20 million will be invested in a modern recreational facility at Section A, Block Y Golden Grove Housing Scheme, East Bank, Demerara. It will include a track for athletes, football, cricket ground, as well as swings, seesaw, and slides. Here is Amar Prasad again with the details.
The $20 million facility would be fenced and solar lights installed for security purposes. The project will be executed by the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport in collaboration with the Ministry of Housing and Waters, Central Housing and Planning Authority. On Tuesday, Ministers Charles Ramsden and Colin Crowell held a consultation with residents of the Grove Diamond area on the project, which forms a part of the government's plan to provide safe spaces for citizens to engage in sports and other social activities. Minister Ramsden explained that the initiative marks the first collaboration with the two agencies. He noted that the facility will be used as a model for other safe spaces in areas and housing schemes across the country. The minister explained that the focus, very early, was to target the development of those community grounds in highly populated areas, where there was an obvious need for recreational spaces for residents, particularly young people.
Given the number of residents that we had in the housing schemes and how rapidly they were developing, that this became the obvious choice for us to start targeting now, where we can get the kind of development that we need. And it came again from an overall vision. What is that vision? The vision which is sown by His Excellency President Ali is about creating the One Guyana.
Minister Crowell spoke of the rapid pace at which the East Bank corridor is developing. This is seen with the construction of the 4-lane highway, which paved the way for the development of new and expanded housing schemes that will see thousands of citizens having access to house lots. However, part of the government's plan to create wholesome communities is to ensure persons have access to recreational spaces, and as such, the CHNPA is undertaking a number of such projects in housing schemes under its purview. The CHNPA recently handed over a new community ground to the residents of Block BB Eccles. Similar interventions are being made at Perseverance, Prospect and Herstelling, 2nd and 4th Bridge. Additionally, Minister Crowell stated that the $52 million Sapphire multipurpose recreational facility is almost completed.
It allows that kind of this is what a difference means when we have development and enhancement. So it allows more family time, and of course it also helps in keeping our well-being, our health facilities health-wise to our enhancement.
The project is expected to be completed by the end of the year. For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
The Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, through the Guyana Women's Leadership Institute, has launched its first Women's Innovation and Investment Network business workshop at Cove and John, East Coast, Demerara, and 350 women are set to benefit. Luana McAllister has more in this report.
The workshop will run for 3 days and is aimed at training up-and-coming women entrepreneurs in particular business skills. During the training sessions, the women will learn how to write a business plan, network, and access financing. The workshop caters to 2021 WIN graduates, women entrepreneurs, and women-owned businesses and startups. Minister of Human Services and Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad has encouraged the participants to utilize the practical aspects of the workshop and use the requisite information and documents to get started.
As the Ministry of Human Services, we are actively engaging many people to see how we can continue to provide that kind of support to all of you. For me, the important thing is, what did you do with everything that you've gotten? I want to be able to walk into a store, walk into a business, talk to you, and I want to hear, oh, we were a WIN student, but this is where we are. That will make me feel incredibly proud. You would not begin to envisage the joy I would feel to hear that.
The WIN in Business workshops is for women to create their own employment and their own opportunities rather than seek employment in their pursuit to be financially independent. Minister Prasad emphasized that WIN in Business is not just a talk shop.
Once a woman in a home is financially independent, once she's empowered, that home becomes more stable because she's able to provide for her family, she's able to look after herself, and she's able to fully understand her inherent potential. And every one of you in this room, and every one of the 2,000 plus women who we trained, has a potential that perhaps in many cases remain untapped. WIN is changing that. WIN has changed that, and will continue to change that as we move forward.
Although over 700 participants registered for the workshop, due to the overwhelming response, additional workshops are being scheduled to facilitate the high demand and will be announced shortly on the ministry's social media platforms. Some of these will be held in other regions based on the applications of interest. Reporting for the Evening News, Lawanda McAllister.
The Commonwealth Parliamentary Association has commenced a training seminar for local members of Parliament wherein they would be educated on parliamentary procedure, committee work, and the role of the Speaker, among other things. Gerald Bryan tells us more.
The training is being conducted at the Artichon Conference Center with the opening ceremony attended by parliamentarians from both sides of the aisle. In his presentation, Clerk of the National Assembly Sherlock Isaacs was optimistic that the training would aid in the development of the members and parliamentary staff. He also hailed the valuable role the CPA plays in training parliamentary staff throughout the region.
The staff are also exposed to parliamentary procedure and practice training in other jurisdictions, enabling them to function more effectively upon their return. The workshops and seminars are not limited to our staff gaining knowledge, but also to allow them to share their experiences and our best practices. We at the Parliament Office continue to avail ourselves of forward interactions to aid in the development of our members and staff.
Meanwhile, Inter-Parliamentary Union Secretary General Martin Chongong praised the role that technology has played in bridging the digital divide for parliamentary work.
During the pandemic, we saw how parliaments were innovating, transforming their working methods in order to stay relevant, in order to stay alive and contribute to the efforts that were intended to stem the pandemic. So I thought I should raise this matter that we ignore digital technologies at our own risk and peril. We need to accelerate this digital transformation that will allow us, among other things, to reach out to communities, to canvass their views more than ever before. I think that we can count our blessings given the fact that sometimes traveling physically to your constituencies is very onerous, time-consuming, and otherwise. With the new technologies, it is possible for you to reach out to your constituencies in a very seamless fashion.
Among the matters that were covered during Tuesday's session were basic procedural training and training on committee work. The respective roles of the Speaker and the Clerk were also covered in the training, which will last for 2 days. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbor Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Thursday, May 12 at 1 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Thursday, May 12 at 13 hours 20 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Dr. Haynes Adams blast players for CWI failing fitness standards and ESCL semifinals set for Sunday. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store, located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rheinveld.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Supervet safety tips to help fight COVID-19. Practice regular washing of hands with soap and water or alcohol-based solution. Remember to always wear your mask whenever in public areas to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces daily with soap and water or detergent. Practice physical distancing by staying at least 6 feet away from others. Supervet cares about you. Let's help keep each other safe.
Over the years, ISG has been providing all sectors across Guyana with quality products and outstanding customer service. Proud distributor of NP and Ultra lubricants, engineered for tropical conditions. International trucks and parts, leading the change. SEM Machinery, a Caterpillar brand. SKF bearings and mounted products. Napa batteries. Tide power generators. Discover the greatest source of power. Industrial Supply of Guyana Inc. The best opportunity to make the right choice.